Hello, welcome back. This is Miniature Mike, and this is going to be my first video in the series for doing a tier list for the various sculpts and stuff. People have requested me to look at sculpts in the past. I haven't really gotten around to it for a while, and I thought this would be a really fun way to kind of just go through the sets. I know I could do it by faction and whatever, but I like by set because it's a controlled limit of characters, 40 or 60. So I'm going to start with Rebel Storm, go through all of them. And I'm just going to dump them and see, just kind of based on my first instinct and stuff, or just kind of my impression using them in the game, or just, I don't know, subjective opinion, how cool I think that their poses and stances are. And the fun thing about this is I'm sure to be wildly different than all of you, so let's get ready. Let's see how many of you I can offend and see how this turns out. But yeah, anyway, let's start with the first one, Forlom, the original one. And I actually don't have all the things. I should remember these guys by memory. We'll find out how well I do. I like this one. I like the foot on the helmet. I think it's really an interesting pose. I don't know how this is going to shake out either, so I might tweak it as time goes on. I'll give it an A, I guess. I mean, Rebel Storm poses are going to be maybe not quite as maybe interesting or some of the earlier ones, but I'm not sure. I'll just do A. I've always enjoyed this version of Forlom. I think it might be one of the better ones, poses. I do like it. I'll just do B tier for Obi-Wan. Or maybe C. It's nothing too interesting. He's just kind of walking forward. It's not an interesting stance. I don't hate it, but it's not doing much for me, I guess. Bespin Guard. I don't really care for these things. I mean, I need to be careful to take the character out of it, too. The stance, I think, is okay. Just kind of hunch it over. Whatever, maybe I'll say C tier, B tier, I don't know. This is tough. Man, it's really, maybe I should have less categories. Boba Fett, I think this one's pretty sweet. For being an older one, maybe it doesn't, like the fire out of the jetpack, maybe doesn't look as good, of course, as the Jango Fett one. But like, I've always thought this sculpt was amazing of Boba Fett. Looks awesome. Flying off, blasting off. Paint job still done really well, even for Rebel Storm. So, big fan of this. I think it looks great. Bosk, I think it's kind of boring. I don't love it. It's just kind of like, he's just kind of like, what's up? I don't know, has his arms up. I don't hate it to D tier. Boffin Spy, I think it's solid. Just guy chuck a grenade. It's not amazing, not great either. I don't know. Doesn't jump out to me. So, C-3PO, just kind of holding his hand up saying hello. There's not very many C-3PO ones. I don't really know what else I'd want out of C-3PO. I'll put it in a B tier. Let's see, do I have... Man, this is going to be a mess. Wow, this is hard. The original Chewbacca, I think, is kind of boring, but I don't think it's terrible, so I think I'll just put it in B tier, towards the top. Speeder bike, let's see, what do I think about the speeder bike? I mean, there's not much to it. It's just a dude on a speeder that's kind of like, ooh. Do I like this one? I don't know. It's kind of just... nothing flashy about it, so the speeder's okay. I think I like this one more, though, so I'll make sure I put that one above it. Yeah, sure, I'll put it at the bottom of B tier, I guess. Let's see, Dengar. I'll probably put this guy in B tier, too. I'm not a big fan of this Dengar pose. It's just very boring and bland to me. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of either of these ones. The Dewback. This one's pretty great. I'm going to put it toward the top of A tier. Maybe S tier, but we'll see. I think it looks awesome. Like for an old mini, get a big creature, you get just a nice looking pose overall. Just a really cool looking mini, really cool sculpt. So let's see, Duros, Mercenary. It's all right. I mean, he's kind of holding his gun over to the side a little bit. Sure, I'll put him right there in B tier. This guy, I've never been a fan because it always looks like he's falling forward. Not a big, I don't know. Like even the sculpts sometimes are always, lunging forward a little bit. This one definitely feels like he's leaning forward. I've never really been a fan of the Rebel Commando sculpt, in my opinion. Not my cup of tea. Tarkin, pretty bland. He's just kind of standing there. I don't know what else I'd expect though from an Imperial officer like him. It looks good, I guess, for what it is. But it is also just kind of bland, so I'll just kind of stick it right there. I like this one. I've actually always really liked this sculpt a lot of the Stormtrooper officer. I just like how he's like, directing traffic over there. I like the way he's done. The getup looks good. I've always been a fan of this sculpt. I don't know, it's just me. For a Rebel Storm, maybe I'll put it down here, but I think I've always thought it looked pretty good. Palpatine, I think this is a pretty legendary one. I got the Force Lightning coming out of his hands. I think it's great. I don't know if it's better than Boba Fett. I mean, but whatever. I don't know if I'm trying to rank them within tiers as much. Maybe a little bit. I'm not so sure. The Ewok sculpt, it's solid. Just a little mini sculpt. Nothing too crazy, but I'll put it down in B tier. Those Rebel Troopers. The thing I love about the Rebel Troopers is sometimes their eyes are painted in the wrong spots and they can look really freaky. I don't know. I never really liked the look of Rebel Troopers in Star Wars in the first place. I just don't think it looks good. I never thought they looked good. So we'll see. Let's do... I don't hate them though, but I think they're kind of boring. I just am not a fan of either of these sculpts. And this is the Elite Rebel Trooper. You can tell because his gun's cocked down just a little bit, even though they're almost the same. I'll put it towards the high one. I think it looks a little better. I'm not a big fan of these two. I think the Elite Rebel Trooper just a hair more, but still, I don't know. This Han Solo, this one's never really done it for me. It's not a bad pose. It's just, for some reason, the gun placement, I mean, it's hard to do on a sculpt, but it felt like he's always had his gun higher than his head. And I don't hate it though. I'll put it at the very bottom of B tier. I do like that there's some action going on, but it's always been a little janky to me a little bit. Officer, meh. I'll put them one below Tarkin. This guy's pretty good. I'll put this guy top of B tier. Not like the craziest thing, but I do think it looks really nice for Rebel Storm. The Jawas are kind of whatever. I don't know. I think the newer Jawas had a better sculpt. This is just kind of like a little plump of plastic with some paint on it. So I'll just kind of put them down here. I don't know. Whatever. I'm just being really critical on this right now. This one's never worked for me. This is just, should I just go all in and be like wild and subjective and have some hot takes? I've always hated this sculpt for the Hoth Trooper. It looks like he's coming in to give you a hug or something. I don't know, like, I hate this sculpt. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this has never worked for me. This one is not my cup of tea. You could argue some of these are worse or just boring, but like, if something's goofy, then yeah, I'm gonna rate that a little bit differently. I've always thought this was goofy. Lead Hoth Trooper's fine. I'll put it up maybe bottom of B tier. I know it's not much different than this guy, but I just like the getup a little bit more. That's all. Pretty solid. Pretty solid here. Lando Calrissian, not bad. Like the way he's holding the gun. I think Landos generally have good poses in general. I think this is a solid one. Slave Leia. I mean, it's more dynamic, like she's doing something as opposed to just kind of standing still. Let's see here. I think it's a decent pose, or a decent sculpt, I should say. I'll put it towards the top end of B tier. I'm trying to reserve A tier and S tier for certain things, so we'll see. I'll put it right there. Let's see, Jabba the Hutt. I don't think this one holds up. I have to compare them. It's been a while since I've compared them side by side. I don't know if this one compares as well to the newer sculpt that they did. I'm not so sure. Although the new one's just Jabba, this one I think has Salacious Crumb and stuff in it too. So I still think it's pretty solid. Let's just start throwing these things down. I'm going to start just throw these down, and then I'm going to see if I can rearrange them depending on how I'm feeling about it. I still think it's solid for a Jabba the Hutt. It's big, well painted. I like the extra stuff on the side, so I might bump it up to A tier actually. Greedo, just kind of a fine, generic one. Whatever. I'll put it down here. Yeah, I don't think C3PO should be this high. I don't know. This is going to be interesting to sort through this. I actually have always liked this one of Leia better. I just like the pose more. I just think it's more, looks like she's a secret agent or something. I don't know. Imperial officer, not bad. I think it's fine. Let's see. We're going to just kind of throw it. Yeah, I think for the video, it's going to be way too hard for me to differentiate all of these, like, within the tiers. So, for the purpose of this video, and I'll probably say this at the beginning of future ones, I think I'm probably just going to break them out, like say, hey, you're all B tier. Sure, maybe some of them are better than others in the B tier, but it's just going to be way too hard for me to be very nitpicky and kind of put one above the other. I think this is getting too crazy. This version of IG-88, unfortunately, I like the newer versions so much more. I've never liked this one because he just sticks straight up and holding his guns to the side. I don't hate it though. I'll put it right there. Just throw it in C tier. It just hasn't been my favorite. This one's kind of just a decent generic one. Luke Skywalker, a young Jedi Knight. Pretty solid. I don't know if I'd say A tier, but I think it's solid right there. Ithorian Scout. Geez, I don't know. I think it's fine. I like I'll put it in. I think I might put it in A tier actually. Yeah. I think it's a really, really well done depiction of an Ithorian in general. I don't think there's very many Ithorians in the game at all, except for like one other one that I think is Rowan Korob. R2D2, just very generic R2D2 sculpt, so I'm just gonna put it down in C tier. It's not too crazy. It's just R2D2. That's it. Looks good. I don't know. I've never really cared about the Farm Boy one. I'll put it down here. This is a pretty legendary sculpt. I might even stick this in S tier. Oh, I think that looks really good. Like, even though it is old, you can tell. I just kind of like the pose. Just kind of leaning that. Yeah, I think it's a great one. I'm going to put this in S tier. I think it's a fantastic pose. Let's see here. Rebel Pilot, just, I don't know. I might have to do this differently. I might in the future videos, I might have an S tier, an A tier, and then like a average tier, and then like, nah, this is fine. I'm trying to figure out how to do this. I like this one. I'll put it in A tier. I've always enjoyed the pose of him just kind of running and looking back and shooting. I think it looks good. Really good. I do like this one more. The Scout Trooper on Speeder. I'll put the Speeders next to each other. I know I said I'm not differentiating them. I just like it a little bit more, so I'll put it next to the Speeder. I think they're solid. It's nice. This one looks pretty good. I just think it looks really, really well done. Like the art. Like it's really well crafted looking. Just mini in general. I think the Corrin looks just like how they captured the Corrin looks pretty great. It's not my favorite for sure, but I think it looks solid. Like definitely one of the solid ones for this specific set. I think it looks really good. Personally, I think the probe droid looks fantastic. I'm gonna put an S tier. I know it's not doing anything, but it just looks awesome. Like just like this nice large mini, really well painted. All the just kind of like tentacles coming out of it. I've always thought that the probe droid in minis just looks awesome. Captures the probe droid so well. It's great. I don't care. Just kind of holding the gun up, whatever. This guy's not bad. I'll put him in the B tier. I like how he's kind of getting ready to swing his stick, but that's kind of about it for me. Not a huge fan of the elite snowtrooper. Just the elite snowtrooper right here. He's just kind of holding his gun too tight to his chest. To me, this was kind of meh. I think snowtroopers look cool, but they don't look. Their sculpts don't wow me too much. I'll put them in C tier. This one's a little bit better though. I've enjoyed this one a little more. The Wookiee, it's okay. I think future Wookiees are done much better, but whatever. See, Stormtroopers. What Stormtrooper do I like the most? I've always liked the aiming Stormtrooper by far the most. I'm gonna put that one in A tier. I don't care about this one at all. I've never cared for. I've never liked this pose. Then the other Stormtrooper, I'll put this in the middle. I think kind of like the move, like the kind of slow walking forward, holding the gun down. I've enjoyed this one, but for some reason I've always loved and gravitated towards the aiming Stormtrooper. I think it looks great. I love to have my whole army be the aiming Stormtrooper. And then don't care about. I don't care for this one. Not much. The heavy Stormtrooper. No. The elite Stormtrooper. I like this one more because the elite Snowtrooper is holding it like right on his chest. I like how this guy's holding his gun a little bit lower. It just looks better to me. So I'll put it down there. I know these two are very similar. I just like the way this guy's standing better. And I just like the look of the Stormtrooper more personally a little bit. So General Veers, I think he looks pretty solid. I'm going to put him in A tier. I just think he's been captured very well. Directing orders, I think he looks good. I've always liked that sculpt a lot. I don't care about this sculpt for the Twi'lek Scoundrel. Tusken Raider. Looks fine. I'll put him in B tier. Let's see here. I got her. I think it's a solid sculpt, but I know it's a really like pointless, like lame piece, but At the same time, for it being a sculpt, the problem with the sculpt I have is it always smashes all the time. So it's never been my favorite, but like it is, I think it's a pretty well done sculpt, a more interesting sculpt compared to the other ones, but I've never been a big fan of it. Let's see here, Sith Lord. I'm going to put this one in, I think I'm going to put it in A tier. The reason I'm not going to do S tier is, like, it's a great look. Like, you know, he's kind of, looks like he's lunging, just kind of jumping forward, ready to slash. Looks awesome, but for some reason, maybe because it's Rebel Storm and it's older, it just kind of looks just a little hokey to me, just a little bit. But at the same time, I also acknowledge I think it looks great. This one, I think it's fine, Darth Vader. I'm going to actually put it down here. To me, it's one of the more boring Darth Vader sculpts. He's just kind of has his fist up or force choking or something. I'm not sure. And then the Wampa, I think the Wampa is one of the best ones. I think it looks incredible. Oh my gosh, they did a good job with these two large, like all the large pieces. All of the large characters pretty much in this set look fantastic. I might even stick this guy up there. I think I might. That looks so good. But I don't want to I'll do that. Yeah. Okay, here's my final list. And like I said before, I'm not ranking these individually. I'm trying not to rank them at least within sets. I'm just going to within like tiers. I'm doing it between tiers. So I think this is good. I think I like Boba, Palpatine, Mara Jade, Probe Droid, Wampa, and then the Dewback to be an S tier. I think that's how I do it. And then the tier down, I really like all these sculpts quite a bit, just not quite as much. And then these are my B tier, which I think are fine. And then C tier, to me, they're just kind of boring or whatever. They don't resonate with me too much. And then this is kind of my meme tier, I guess. I just think this looks silly. I've never been a fan of this one. For some reason, I see it and I just want to laugh. But if you like it, I'm sorry. That's don't mean to offend, but it's just that's the thing about this. I'm sure you guys are gonna have very different takes than I do. Absolutely. So. Okay, so that's my first one. Hopefully you guys enjoy this tier list video. This is going to be much quicker videos than some of the past ones. And I think the future ones will probably be the same about length. And would love to hear your thoughts on these. What are your guys' favorite minis? What's your favorite sculpts, I should say? Like poses? Or is there somebody here that I put really low, you put high, or vice versa? That's the fun thing about this specific one. I think there's a lot of subjectivity to it. Whereas just a general, like, how good is the mini? A little subjective for sure, but I think there's a lot more evidence out there that helps dictate those ones. But that's the fun one about this. We'll see how it goes. Anyways, please like, subscribe as always, and especially comment. And until next time, have a good one.